Human cloning is one of the most fascinating and controversial topics in modern science. The concept of creating a genetically identical copy of a human being has captured the imagination of scientists, ethicists, and the general public for decades. But what exactly is human cloning? How does it work? And what are the implications, both scientific and ethical, of pursuing such a path? Let's explore the science behind cloning, the history of cloning experiments, the debates surrounding the topic, and what the future might hold. At its core, cloning is the process of creating an organism that is an exact genetic copy of another. In the context of humans, this means producing a new individual whose DNA is virtually identical to that of an existing or previously existing person. Scientifically, there are two primary types of cloning: reproductive and therapeutic. Reproductive cloning aims to create a living, breathing human who is a genetic duplicate of another person. Therapeutic cloning, on the other hand, focuses on creating cloned human embryos for the purpose of harvesting stem cells, which can be used to treat various diseases and injuries. The science of cloning took a huge leap forward in 1986 with the birth of Dolly the sheep, the first mammal to be cloned from an adult somatic cell using a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer, or SCNT. In this process, the nucleus of an egg cell is removed and replaced with the nucleus of a somatic cell, the kind of cell found in the body that contains a full set of chromosomes. The egg is then stimulated to divide and develop into an embryo, which can be implanted into a surrogate mother. Dolly's birth proved that it was possible to take the DNA from an adult organism and use it to create an entirely new, genetically identical individual. The successful cloning of Dolly sparked a wave of speculation about the possibility of cloning humans. Scientists debated the technical challenges, while ethicists and religious leaders raised concerns about the moral implications. To this day, there have been no verified cases of a human being cloned using this technique. The process is fraught with difficulties. High rates of failure, abnormal development, and serious health problems in cloned animals have all been documented. These challenges have led many countries to impose strict bans or regulations on human cloning research. Despite these barriers, the idea of human cloning continues to fascinate. Some proponents argue that reproductive cloning could help infertile couples have genetically related children, or allow parents grieving the loss of a child to have another baby with the same genetic makeup. Others suggest it could be used to create genetically identical organ donors, eliminating the risk of rejection in transplant recipients. However, these potential benefits are weighed against significant ethical concerns. One of the main objections to human cloning is the question of individuality and identity. Would a cloned person be considered a unique individual or merely a copy of someone else? How would society treat such individuals, and what rights would they possess? There are also concerns about the psychological well-being of clones, who might struggle with questions about their origins and purpose. Additionally, the high rates of failure observed in animal cloning raise serious questions about the safety and morality of attempting to clone humans, as many embryos, fetuses, or newborns may suffer from severe abnormalities or die prematurely. Therapeutic cloning, though less controversial than reproductive cloning, is not without its own ethical dilemmas. The process involves creating and then destroying human embryos to harvest stem cells, which some people argue is morally unacceptable. Yet, stem cell research holds tremendous promise for regenerative medicine, offering hope for patients suffering from conditions such as Parkinson's disease, diabetes, spinal cord injuries, and heart disease. By generating tissues, or even entire organs that are genetically matched to a patient, therapeutic cloning could revolutionize the way we treat many illnesses. As science advances, the boundaries between what is possible and what is permissible continue to blur. New techniques, such as induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs, allow scientists to reprogram adult cells to behave like embryonic stem cells, circumventing some of the ethical issues associated with traditional cloning. However, the debate over human cloning remains deeply polarized, driven by differing views on the value of human life, the definition of individuality, and the limits of scientific intervention. Internationally, there is no unified stance on human cloning. Many countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and much of Europe, have implemented laws or guidelines prohibiting reproductive human cloning. On the other hand, some nations have less restrictive policies, allowing therapeutic cloning research to proceed under strict regulation. The United Nations has called for a global ban on human cloning, but consensus remains elusive. Looking to the future, the conversation around human cloning continues to evolve as science progresses. Researchers are exploring new techniques that could one day address current safety and ethical concerns, while society debates where to draw the line between innovation and morality. The possibility of personalized medicine, regenerative therapies, and even the elimination of certain genetic diseases drives interest and investment. Ultimately, the path forward will require ongoing dialogue, careful regulation, and a balance between scientific ambition and respect for human dignity. As research continues, scientists are working to improve the safety and efficiency of cloning techniques, addressing problems like genetic abnormalities and low success rates. The possibility of growing replacement tissues or even entire organs through therapeutic cloning offers hope for treating diseases that are currently incurable. However, ongoing ethical debates remind us that technological capability must be matched with responsibility. Whether human cloning becomes a widely accepted practice will depend on society's willingness to navigate these complex moral and scientific landscapes. As technology rapidly evolves, the debate around human cloning remains dynamic and deeply nuanced. Scientists continue to explore safer, more ethical ways to harness cloning's potential, while ethicists and policymakers weigh the implications for society. Public opinion is often divided, reflecting hopes for medical breakthroughs alongside fears of unforeseen consequences. Ultimately, the path forward demands careful oversight, transparent research practices, and broad societal input to ensure that advances in cloning respect both human dignity and the promise of scientific discovery. As we look ahead, the trajectory of human cloning will likely be shaped by both breakthroughs in biotechnology and evolving public attitudes. Advances in gene editing and cellular reprogramming may offer safer, more precise methods, potentially reducing some of the risks currently associated with cloning. However, the path forward will require ongoing dialogue among scientists, policymakers, ethicists, and the public to ensure that developments align with shared values. Ultimately, responsible stewardship will be key as humanity navigates this complex frontier. As the conversation around human cloning continues, the intersection of science and society becomes increasingly important. Public perception plays a significant role in shaping laws and research priorities, with many people expressing both hope and apprehension about cloning's potential. Scientists emphasize the need for transparent research and robust ethical guidelines to govern new breakthroughs. Ultimately, the path forward will require careful collaboration among researchers, policymakers, ethicists, and the public to responsibly harness the transformative power of cloning technologies. As we look ahead, the conversation around human cloning is far from settled. Public opinion remains divided, shaped by cultural values, religious beliefs, and differing interpretations of human rights. Some envision a future where cloning helps eliminate genetic diseases and extends human longevity, while others worry about unforeseen consequences and the commodification of life. Navigating these uncertainties will require not only scientific progress, but also ongoing ethical reflection and global cooperation, ensuring that humanity's pursuit of knowledge serves the common good. Looking ahead, human cloning remains at the crossroads of possibility and controversy. As research progresses, society faces critical questions. How should these technologies be used, and who decides their limits? Ongoing advancements may one day make cloning safer and more predictable, but they also demand renewed attention to issues like consent, access, and unintended consequences. The choices made today will shape not only the trajectory of cloning science, but also our collective values and vision for the future of humanity. As we look ahead, it's clear that human cloning remains one of the most controversial and thought-provoking fields in modern science. The promise of groundbreaking medical treatments and the possibility of overcoming infertility inspire hope, yet they are closely intertwined with concerns about exploitation, inequality, and unintended consequences. Ultimately, society must weigh the risks and rewards with care, fostering open conversations and informed decision-making. Only through thoughtful collaboration can we shape a future where science serves humanity responsibly. As scientific advancements accelerate, the boundaries of what is possible in human cloning continue to shift. Researchers are exploring new methods that may one day overcome current limitations, raising both hope and concern. The potential to cure diseases, repair damaged tissues, or extend human life is weighed against the risks of unintended consequences and ethical violations. Ultimately, the path forward will require vigilance, compassion, and a commitment to ensuring that progress serves humanity while respecting fundamental values. As we look ahead, the possibilities presented by human cloning remain both promising and controversial. Medical research continues to uncover new methods that could one day revolutionize treatments for genetic disorders, organ failure, and degenerative diseases. However, each step forward reignites debates about safety, access, and the potential for misuse. Ultimately, the path forward for human cloning will be shaped not only by what science can achieve, but by society's collective values, priorities, and willingness to engage in thoughtful, informed discussion. As research continues to evolve, the landscape of human cloning will inevitably shift, prompting new questions and challenges. The integration of emerging tools like artificial intelligence, advanced genetics, and bioengineering could further accelerate discoveries, offering novel solutions to complex medical problems. However, with each step forward, society must carefully weigh the risks and benefits, considering not only what is scientifically possible, but also what is ethically justifiable. Open dialogue and robust oversight will be crucial in guiding these transformative advancements. As we move forward, the future of human cloning remains uncertain, shaped by ongoing scientific discoveries and evolving ethical perspectives. While some advocate for the promise of medical breakthroughs, others warn of unforeseen consequences and the risk of commodifying human life. Continued research may unlock new ways to heal and restore, but society must weigh these possibilities against profound moral considerations. Ultimately, the choices made today will influence how cloning technology shapes humanity's future for generations to come. As scientific frontiers continue to expand, public discourse on human cloning remains both dynamic and deeply divided. Some envision a future where cloning technologies could revolutionize medicine, offering hope for those with untreatable conditions or providing personalized therapies. Others, however, warn of unforeseen consequences, including exploitation, inequality, and threats to what it means to be human. Moving forward, ongoing dialogue among scientists, ethicists, and society will be crucial to ensure that progress in cloning aligns with shared human values and ethical responsibility. As science continues to advance, the possibilities surrounding human cloning are rapidly expanding, yet so too are the questions we must address. Innovations in biotechnology promise new medical breakthroughs, potentially transforming how we treat genetic disorders and regenerate damaged tissues. However, these advancements also require rigorous oversight to prevent misuse and protect vulnerable individuals. Ultimately, the path forward for human cloning will be shaped not only by what is scientifically possible, but by the values and priorities society chooses to uphold. As research continues, society faces fundamental questions about identity, autonomy, and what it means to be human. While therapeutic cloning may revolutionize medicine by providing tailored treatments and potentially eliminating organ shortages, it also challenges existing definitions of life and raises concerns about consent and exploitation. Ongoing innovation in related fields, such as artificial intelligence and personalized genetics, further complicates the landscape. Ultimately, the trajectory of human cloning will be shaped by how thoughtfully we address these profound scientific and ethical dilemmas.